Well, hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to Money Talks with Ayanna Smith, and I am your host, Ayanna Smith, and I am excited to be here this evening with you. We are so ready to get things going and get things moving and get things shaking. So make sure that you invite a friend, invite your family members, invite professionals. And I love my educators, but you know what? I need you to jump on. Maybe some educators aren't asleep, but tell them to get up and watch this. And I'm because I'm going to be talking to that crowd as well as entrepreneurs because I'm looking at these high earners who are making the money, but sometimes not knowing what to do with the money now that you're making it, or you've gotten that raise on your current job, and you want to make sure that you're not just throwing money away and wasting money and wasting funds because that's no fun to waste your funds. No fun. No fun to waste your funds. You want to make sure that every dollar counts, every penny counts, everything is accounted for. That's why we think about I think about accountants and think about making sure that each piece, everything has its own space and its own place. And just to think about at the top of the time of what I do, so you'll know what I do. I of course have discovery calls with potential people who want to make and save and get strategies in place, making sure that you have things in a time of struggle and storm, making sure that you have things in place. If you were to have a severance package or you get laid off, you still have some things to rely on and to be great, even if things don't feel so great. But knowing how to bounce back is really key to having, next level success. So, with that being said, I wanted to start out the gate, of course, to let you know that there is and the comment. I'll make sure that I put links in so that you'll be able to reach out. And of course, right now, if you're seeing this, reach out to me with a direct message. And you say, what am I direct messaging you about? We have, listen, listen, listen. We a have a big event coming up that is going to be local to the Hampton Roads area of Virginia on the East Coast. And it is going to be a big event. Let's see, it's coming up on April. It's going to be April 18th from 2 to 4, from 2 to 4 p.m. And it's going to be our 5 year reservoir, the 5 year reservoir. And that means, of course, it's going to help you to turn your income by garnering up 15% of your income turning your income into a 15% income money machine in 60 months. So we want to look at that strategy on how can we build our money up so that we will have at least 15% of what we currently earn stored up, and looking at that to helping us to get toward and to hit that goal as closely as we can, with different strategies and different places to put our monies so that they will continue to grow no matter what. So that link, please DM me for the link. And also I will have information flyers, QR codes that you'll be able to register, get your early bird ticket and all that good stuff. So that is here. That is on. Let's say it's ready to go. Ready to go. And you want to get the early bird ticket so that you won't have to pay the full price when we get over there knocking at the door. And it's going to be a great hard 90 minutes so that we can stretch our minds and understand that we can do this. We can really get some things in place. So I wanted to share about that. So that's one announcement. And the other announcement is that we just want to jump in to looking at some things this evening. I started out with looking at our pension stress test, looking at that. And I think, people want to know a little bit more about that. So I'm going to jump into that, start that, and then take it back and go into our save strategy. Now, of course, we say, save strategies for educators, but we know that our high earners and entrepreneurs can get all of that. The professionals can get all of the juicy nuggets out of the save strategy and see what that's all about. But we're going to jump into looking at this stress test, our stress test pension calculator. That's a mouthful. It's a mouthful trying to get all of that out. But I wanted to share that with you so we can go over it and just have your brain thinking about what exactly am I going to do and have to do when I'm thinking about, let's put on our thinking caps for a moment. When I'm thinking about garnering up that 15%, it still connects with the workshop that's coming up in April. Well, what it is April. Happy April 1st. It is April, but coming up in 17 days, how can I lock my brain in to focus on getting those things in my mind and strategies in my mind to help me to move forward and to grow. So if you, first of all, like if you really are ready to get some nuggets and understand what's going on, please type in the chat. I am ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I know you're ready. I know you are ready to go, ready to grow, and ready to move to the next level and move up on into greater things. So let's look at this pension stress test calculator to talk a little bit about the things that we're thinking about when we're thinking about the two things that get us the taxes and inflation. So with that, let's see how that's going to look and build that up right here. So when we look at this, we have the gap calculator, the pension stress test. When we see the pension stress test, we want to talk about current monthly expenses. In our discovery calls, these are the things that we do talk about. How much you have going out? How much do you have coming in? What is going to be your number that's going to keep you going in retirement or in the middle of a transition, in the middle of a downturn, a layoff, severance, what have you. So what's going to keep you going? How much are your current monthly expenses? Only you know that, but then, sitting down and really shelling it out and laying it out and layering it to see, this is what I have going out. This is what I have coming in. It's going to be a big deal in helping you to understand how aggressive we may have to be to get us to our next steps and our next level. Okay. So if our expenses, your current monthly expenses, well, we know that they're more than $300. So let's say that current monthly expenses are $5,000. Okay. Your current expenses are $5,000. That's including things such as, of course, your rent, your mortgage, lights, gas, water. Um, and we know that we see right now things are swiftly going up, up, up. And our money is staying here. And so it feels like it's doing this, is splitting. And in between is like where is the rest? Where's the rest? I even have something for that too, a consideration on even adding on to your income. Thinking about adding on another, like say another, just another stream of income, because we have to have multiple streams. It is just imperative that we do. We just want to make sure that the stream we have is not stressful. Okay. All right. So now let's look at this pension stress test. So we'll talk about that because I don't want to have too many things running at one time. But if you want to know more about how you can add on another stream to yourself, say multiple streams, type that in the chat. Multiple streams, multiple streams, multiple streams. Okay. Or to make it simple, type again, I'm ready, but multiple streams. Okay. And later on, we'll get to another one because I know that you are going to be ready after you see this. Okay. This gap calculator, our expenses are $5,000. So we're going to calculate the gap, meaning what will it take with inflation? How much money would it take down the road, 5, 10 years? And of course, we could think of short numbers, 60 months, 10 years. I mean, excuse me, 5 years, 60 months. And we would say 120 months, 10 years. And when we think about things in months, we're like, the months are already passing by, because when I look at that, we're already in April. That means we're in what we say quarter two, the second quarter of the year already. So meaning in 3 months, we will be mid-year, halfway mark of the year 2026. So let's look at this and calculate our gap. If our money, what we bring in, covers $5,000 of our uh, monthly expenses, what's going to keep up with the rising costs and protect us in retirement? So let's look, calculating our gap. Okay, purchasing power gap. We're going to need an additional by 2035. We're going to take it up like almost a 10-year span away. A hypothetical trajectory would be $6,720 would be needed for these today's $5,000 a month costs, capping and encapsulating inflation. And some may say, well, I'm going to pay, if I have a mortgage, I'm going to pay my house down and all that. That's fine. But as we're paying that real estate, that real property down, that mortgage that may be on that real property, it's going to increase in value, and that's a good thing. You keep it that long, it's going to increase in value, but also you're going to continually have to pay taxes, property taxes in some states. Not all states, may not have the property tax, but most do. And I know that where I am located, there's property tax for sure. And you have to give an account for that, rising costs in just, the energy, water, all those things. So even though you may go down in one area, you still may increase in another. And then here we are. You need to fill that gap in. So looking at the additional monthly income that will be needed, say in 2035, excuse me, there would be an additional over $1,700 needed to continue that comfortability. Okay, so let's continue on to the stress test. Continuing on to the stress test, we're looking at, of course, as is, without the pension guaranteeing the 3% cost of living adjustment, no windfall elimination provision with the social security offset, and no survivor benefits set to 100% for protection for your spouses, dependents, and all. Then we're looking at being in what? Danger. If you understand what I'm saying, you can type in the comments, danger, type that in. That said, we want to get out of the red and into some yellow, some green. We want to really all be in the green, right? Okay, so we don't want to get out of the pension status of being in danger, meaning that your pension has significant gaps, and it could ruin that retirement comfortability and security. All right. So if you do have that cost of living adjustment, then that does set you at tier 2 and not the total risk tier. And it means it has few gaps, but not fully all the way. Now, if you have your WEP, all that still at risk, but if you have that, is it exempt from WEP? And look that up, windfall elimination provision, because there are some changes for those who have qualified for that, who are of the age of receiving the Social Security. There are some changes, and those who have been exempt, you may start seeing an increase in your benefit. So make sure that you do check on that and listen out and look out to see if your check is a little larger for those who receive your Social Security offsets. All right. And then, is your survivor benefit set to 100%? And if it is, then you are in an excellent place. Your pension is strong. You have your protections all in ducks in a row, everything together. great job for you. And so here we are. Now, to bridge it, still, you need some additional income. Just to say if everything is still in the safe realm, still need some additional income. And with that being said, you're going to look at purchasing power gap. You would need an estimated $430 to cover your gap. And so we then want to look at some solutions. And looking at the solutions, we will look at here some gap fillers, some accelerators, wealth builders to really get your things moving the way you need them to move, especially if we are up a certain age, over 50 plus. You have to be very aggressive in some instances and make sure that you have the upper contributions to put into an accelerated wealth building type policy, things that build your cash and make you have something that is obtainable and also you'll be able to glean from in the event that you need another stream. So you can become your own bank, become your own stream. So we can talk more about this and looking at this, booking a discovery call, and that will be a one size fits you, not a one size fits all. So we don't want to blanket everything, but I want to get out of this and get into what I wanted to share about that save plan. So make sure you're looking at here. We will figure something out that's tailored to your needs, but we're going to move toward looking at the save plan. So we're getting in there we talked about the S, the A. So we want to talk a little bit more about the V in this evening's broadcast. So let's look a little further and see if we can get this moving just about right now. I tell you, is everybody doing okay tonight? I hope you are. I hope you are. And if you are ready to hear more, learn more, it's time to load up. Let's go. So the save strategies we're looking at for the educators. Of course, we've talked about this before about the district insurance against having your own personal insurance. Nothing like owning. So own your own policy so that you can port it, take it, move it along with you as you go to and fro. If you are with that district, that job, that professional, that corporate space or not, you have your own coverage and your own survivor's benefits being built, then you don't have to worry about if you just get let go or you get ready to retire and then those premiums go sky high, because oftentimes, most of the time, it may not be policies that build money. It may not be strategies that build money. It may be strategies that are just temporary and term. And so it's only going to last for a certain amount of time. And when that ends, or when you retire, or when you transition to another workspace, that doesn't go with you without maybe extremely high costs. Okay. So let's move on. We're looking at here the S. We're going to do a little recap, still going back, looking at that recap from where we've spoken on this before. Secure your future. You want to look at that. So make sure that you go back and look at some of the other videos that will be, that we've posted to talk about that, securing your future, making sure that you have coverage locked in today in your youth. No matter what age you are, you're going to be younger today than you will be tomorrow. So in your youth, we're going to go with that word, in your youth, and make sure that you secure the private policy, say of $250,000 to $500,000 while you're younger, vibrant, and not too many health concerns or what have you. Then that locks in those rates at the current day. And then, of course, we know the longer we wait, the higher things will be. But just start. That's all I say. No matter what, just start. We will get you something. We will work very hard to get you positioned where you have a strategy in place. So now, not to belabor, but access, the A. The S is what? Secure. All right, type secure. If you're ready to be secure, type secure. That's the first part of save. A, access your money. your personal policy as a personal credit union, BYOB, become your own bank. And I think we talked about this. We talked about this just to say if life threw you unexpected bills or expenses or breaking down of air conditioning units at the home and all that, then there would be some money for you to pull if you've had this strategy in place long enough for it to build, because things don't build overnight. They build over time. And if we have things at an earlier time, we build it, it builds, it builds, it grows, it grows, it grows. And then we can become our own bank, our own personal credit union, if you will. And then if we're looking at that, we get less penalties. But when we're looking at the strategies that are in our good old stock market, which are our 401ks, 403bs, 457s, TSPs, they're all what? In the good one-stop shop stock market. Nothing wrong with the stock market. Of course, we just know it goes up and it goes down. It goes up and it goes down. Ebbs and flows. That's how it works. And sometimes getting money from those vehicles are a little more penal. You penalize a little more with withdrawals if you're too young, or withdrawals. It comes out, it hits you taxable, because if you put money in and it was pre-tax, then when you bring it out, take it out, it's just like you're getting a regular check, regular W-2 check, and it will be taxed. So that Save Advantage here, take a tax-free 7K loan from your policy if you have that much built in there, and then your money keeps earning interest that's still there while you are using what you need. And then you can work to, if you want to replace that, pay that back. Then or if your company that you're working with says, well, if you don't pay it back, we subtract it from what you already had as your face value, then hey, if you're okay with that, then you go forward with that. If it's really something that you say, well, I just know we'll have this left. If you want to make sure that it is back to full face value, then you make sure that you take care of that and pay things, okay? So as we get ready to go on our descent, we want to look at the V in the save. So we recap it, the S, the A, and the V is here now, where we're looking at the growth, the value that grows. Beat the invisible tax of inflation, because we talked about earlier, looking at that pension stress test calculator, that most definitely two things we cannot fight and cannot get by and cannot get rid of are our good old taxes and that good old inflation. Not going to get away from it. So savings accounts aren't really producing much money. I will share a personal story, had a savings account, and the savings account used to produce, it had little interest of, I'd just say 0.25%. So that's translating 1/4 of a penny. So 1/4 of a penny was the interest that was being accrued on the monies that I had in my savings account. Okay. So for every what we say, for every dollar, basically I had to have like $4 to make 1 penny. I think that would be the proportion. Okay. 1 to 4. So with that, had to have a good amount of money to just make $1, right? But about $400 just to make $1. So yeah, wasn't a whole lot that it was making. So with that won't really cover a whole lot. So we're looking here, you're looking at 0.5%, not covering anything. And now that 0.25% that I was making has gone down to, I believe, 0.1%, 0.10. Yeah. So 1/10 of a penny. Go figure, what are we going to do with 1/10 of a penny when they even stop minting pennies? Sad, right? Okay. So on that won't cover much of anything. But with the save policy growth, you have the options that same $20,000 that you are trying to place into your savings account. Now you do need a savings account. Absolutely need one so that you will have liquid money that you can get your hands readily on. But when you have a save policy, save something that's going to grow for you, then with no bottoming out, a guaranteed floor of zero at least, your money is still going to stay. Even if the stock market doesn't, it'll still stay right there and hold. Isn't that amazing? I can keep my money in place, what, and not lose out ever, only grow. It either stays the same or it goes higher. I tell you, that's something to really look into, right? Okay. So if you want to hear more about what is this growth policy, this save plan that's going to keep me at at least at zero or at bay or where I started, but I won't go beneath I won't go sub basement and lose out. I want to know more about that. So if you want to know more about that, type more, more in the comments. Okay. And then zero market crash protection. This save policy and save strategy will keep you from the effects of having that market crash fallout. So it gives you safety, growth at a steady rate. Isn't it amazing? Safe and protected. And then ultimately, it protects you as the save policy growth owner. I think that's amazing. And from little children on up can take advantage of this. So if you want to know more, type more. Now that's just that snippet. We'll finish up the rest of the save. We have one more where we'll get into that E. So next time we'll get back into the recap, and then we'll jump into more in-depth strategies or stories and strategies that will help us to get a better depiction of what we can handle and build our own save policies. Okay. So let's, as we wrap up, we're going to go back and look that we talked about the S, securing your future, the A, accessing your money, and the V, value that grows. So we'll hear value that grows, and we'll get to the E. We're looking at moving on into that E for the next time, so that we will make sure that we can lock all four components together and put them all together for one big, let's say one big powerful boom, to make sure that we have what we need in the time of need, and to make sure that we are focusing on looking at legally getting around the inflation and the taxes that truly are going to come. So with that being said, we're going to again do a quick time of breakdown, meaning that as we close out, if you want to know more information about how the save policy, the save strategy can help you, comment more in the comments. Make sure that you reach out to me at www.askayanna.com. You can schedule your discovery calls there. I'm looking forward to connecting, speaking with you, and helping you to shape your mind that we're protecting, and we're helping you to grow and protect against inflation, protect against your taxes, and also helping you to build in another stream of income. There's some different ways to build in. So stay tuned for more clips and all that will talk about some different strategies that will help us just to start. The main thing is the strategy is just not to sit paralyzed, because sometimes I think we may have analysis paralysis. We don't know what to do, so we don't do anything. And it makes us sit in a little fear, but we've not been given the spirit of fear. So if you have some fear, then know that that's not the good mindset that's going to get us to the next level and get us to the next thing. So as we focus, get our minds undone, into the right direction and get this save strategy in the save strategy that will give us the proper protection, then we can elevate and move up and have our monies flowing in from left to right, right to left, up, down, and just encapsulate us all around, right? All right. So as we're going on and closing out, this is Money Talks, Ayanna Smith, and I am so excited that you came on, that you're listening. If you're listening to the replay and all that, please make sure that you connect with me and you'll be able to set up your discovery call by going to my website at www.askayana. Look forward to speaking with you, hearing from you, and helping you to save